Hi everyone, welcome to a new video. This is going to be about Jupiter and Cancer, and Jupiter moves into Cancer next year, 2025. And if you're new to the channel, my name's Susan. I am a psychic medium and an astrologer. I have over 24 years experience now studying astrology and over 12 years practicing astrology. And I'm going to do this for you where I talk about what to expect with Jupiter and Cancer and, what signs will benefit and which signs will benefit the most and which signs will also benefit in a different way. And then if you'd like to join me on Patreon, I'll be doing an extended video where I go through every single sign for your rising and your sun sign and what to expect with Jupiter and Cancer for you. So the link to my Patreon is below. With Patreon, I also do every single month the new moon and the full moon for all signs, what to expect. And I also do eclipses, their influence when they come up, as well as pick a card readings and other stuff as well. So if you'd like to join me on Patreon, it is $6.99 Australian dollars per month. And obviously you can join for a bit. If you don't like it, you can leave. You can stay as long as you like. I have people that have stayed there for a very long time with me, which is really nice. And some people come and join for a few months and then they stop and then they come back, things like that. So it's up to you. Obviously, if you know Patreon, you know how it works. If you'd like to book a reading with me, the link to that is also below. It's www.readingswithsusan.net. Okay, into this video, let's get into it. So when does this start? As it says on the screen, June. It actually starts on June 10th, 2025 and goes through to July 1st, 2026. So it's always the same with Jupiter. It's always a year in a new sign. What I'm excited about with Jupiter and Cancer is it's exalted in the sign of Cancer, unlike what we've been having in 2024 and also up to June 2025 before it goes into Cancer. It's Jupiter's been in Gemini. That is a detriment position for Jupiter to be in. It is not helpful. I mean, look, that said, everything's helpful because ultimately we're learning, right? From a higher perspective, but you feel the difference, when Jupiter is in Gemini. I'm sure a lot of you have been feeling a lot of overstimulation. The mind has been like just overstimulated, easily triggered. People's mental health has been more fragile with Jupiter and Gemini. Anyway, this one's focusing on Jupiter and Cancer, but just to compare a little bit the energies and the differences. Jupiter is like this huge expansive planet. Like I said in that video that I did about Jupiter and Gemini, it doesn't work well when it's in a Mercury ruled sign such as Gemini. So anyway, Jupiter and Cancer really allows for the more positive expression of Jupiter to work through the nurturing and home loving and comfort energy of Cancer. And so just generally speaking, this is going to allow for a bit more of a flow around emotional expression for people. And it's going to allow for this energy to flow where the need for connection with people, the need for connection with family or soul family, soul tribe is going to be flowing more. So for those people that feel like, oh, I haven't really met my tribe or I haven't met my people, like where are those good friends that I need, or where are those connections that help me feel more connected to who I am, whether it is family members that you haven't maybe spoken to in a while or family members, say, that you've never met. Some people haven't met, obviously all of their family, or, some people have been disconnected from family because of location and think different reasons. So with Jupiter in Cancer, there's going to be more of an opportunity to connect in a positive way with family and with a sense of where you live, your own home, and the comfort and security and stability of home. And this can be a very positive energy for people that, obviously, for Cancerian people and water signs in particular, this is going to be very positive. Look, with Jupiter, it's the planet of expansion, wisdom, growth, and generally speaking, because it's exalted, it is going to be positive for people that have Cancerian placements, okay, because it's in an exalted sign. So you can expect that the area of your life, so if you know your own chart where you have the sign of Cancer, where there will be some expansion, will be in, say you've got a sun in Cancer in the 4th house and you have Jupiter going through your 4th house. Well, that's going to be amazing for if you want to move, you can find a bigger home. You can expand your home, you can make your home more comfortable, all of these very positive things. There can be a new family member in the home or, the birth of children. Cancerian energy is very much a nurturing, mothering, protective, security focused, protective, I think I said that, sorry, energy. So it's going to enhance all those good feels around that. And what's I going to say? So yes, for Cancerian people, this is huge for you, and it's going to show up as some kind of expansion in your family. I just gave the example if you have a sun or, you know, even a moon or Venus in, say, for example, in the 4th house, as an example, it's going to be wonderful for your home life and for family. If you've got, you know, the sun in Cancer in the 7th house, this could be marriage. This could be a new amazing soul connection with somebody, a new relationship that really brings a lot of amazing emotional and spiritual growth to your life. So yeah, the other signs that are going to benefit are going to be the Pisces people. So it's going to make a trine, harmonious aspect to Pisces. So this is going to be a nice flow of energy for Pisces, where things will, especially, you know, if you've got one thing in Pisces, you know, you'll notice it a little bit at the time that transit happens, for example. But if you've got a few things in Pisces, or if you've got sun or rising, you probably feel it more. So obviously you've got to look at the timing when, depending on your degree, of course. So in terms of degrees, I'll give you a heads up on that if you don't know. So from 2025, from June 10th, Jupiter in Cancer starts at 0 degrees there from June 10th, and then it goes all the way through in 2025 up to 25 degrees of Cancer. And then for 2026, it starts, because of retrograde, starts back at 21 degrees of Cancer and goes all the way through to 29 degrees of Cancer. So if you're a Cancerian or you have Cancerian placements, you know, later degrees, you will feel that more towards the end of 2025. But if you're very late degrees, you know, like 26 degrees onwards, you're not going to get the benefits of the Jupiter in Cancer until 2026, unless you've got something earlier placed in Cancer. But if you've got, you know, 0 to 25, anything there, you're going to experience this positive growth in your life and new opportunities that are very good for you and exciting for you in 2025. So if you're a Cancerian sun, moon, or rising, especially, and you felt like you've been a little bit stagnant, this is going to be changing for you from June 2025, where you're going to experience a lot more flow of destined growth in your life. So when it's the conjunction, which it is obviously Jupiter in Cancer, if you're a Cancerian, it's going to be the conjunction. That indicates that the growth does just happen. Doesn't mean that you don't do anything to facilitate the growth. You may also, you're actively obviously involved in your own life, but sometimes things do fall into your experience, right? When there's a conjunction. So for Cancerians, it could be like that, where certain things just happen that bring about the growth. Other things, yes, you'll be putting the efforts into, and you're going to see the fruits of your efforts being made manifest. So that's fantastic. For Pisces people or Scorpios, you will notice that there's an easier flow, because it's going to be a trine. It is going to flow, but it will take your effort, but you'll see that what you're working towards will manifest. So as well, and it might be more, you know, in a softer way, not as all encompassing as it's going to be for Cancerians. Okay. So Cancerian people, what could you experience? You could experience a big change in your life, where it's like you might move, you might renovate your home, you might have someone new come live with you, you might go live with someone else, you might decide to relocate to be closer to family or to be closer to a family member. By the way, the last time Jupiter was in Cancer was in 2013. So think back to 2013. You know, what were you experiencing then? It is going to be a bit different, obviously, because there are other transits in the sky that are different to what's happening in 2025. For example, in 2023, when Jupiter was in Cancer, Saturn was in Scorpio, which was a very heavy energy. Even though they were trining each other, Saturn in Scorpio is a very heavy energy, especially if you were a Scorpio or Taurus or Aquarius or Leo. 2012, 2013, 2014, you would have felt that as quite heavy. But so now, coming into 2025, Saturn is going to be in Aries, which is a square aspect to the Jupiter. So that can, in some way, if you've got anything in your chart around the early degrees of, for example, Cancer, if you're born at the beginning of the sign of Cancer, you might feel your growth is a little bit slowed down because of that square from Saturn next year. Saturn in Aries is going to be squaring Saturn in Jupiter in Cancer. So there's always other things to factor in, but for this video, I really just want to focus on the beauty of Jupiter in Cancer and like the positive aspect, but also, you know, realistically what you can expect. The downside of Jupiter, and there is a downside to Jupiter, is look, Jupiter is generally very positive, but there's always that aspect of too much of a good thing. If you're just overindulging, you're seeking comfort too much, it can very much become negative. So Jupiter in Cancer can find too much comfort in the home and family, and you know, can be too clinging. So it could find that this energy is something that for some people, not everybody, may come up to address, where it's like, okay, I'm being too overindulgent here in the things that give me comfort. And there is with Jupiter, it's about expansion. So you could expand something in a negative way. It is more, it is less likely because Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, but it can still happen. So if you're someone who doesn't like self-discipline, doesn't like to work or put the effort in, this can be where you just go too far into, like I said, the comfort zone, and you kind of retreat into, you know, your Cancerian crab shell too much. But because Jupiter's in Cancer, the growth is pushing you, but sometimes it can be growth in a negative way. So something to watch out for in the negative is, in particular with Jupiter in Cancer, is emotional eating. So anyone that has that tendency to, you know, that has to watch their weight and things like that, you do have to be a bit careful with this, because it can relate to that type of energy where you're just craving sweet things and, you know, that indulgence and so forth. Yeah, so just watching your health, I would say. But other than that, I feel like it is very positive. And like I say, it's exalted. It's the best placement for Jupiter to be in, other than uh, being in Sagittarius or Pisces, where it's also in dignity. Right. So, like I said, the signs that are going to experience the most growth, obviously Cancerians, secondly, Pisces and Scorpio. The signs that will also be blessed by Jupiter in Cancer are the signs of Taurus and Virgo, because that will give you a sextile aspect from Jupiter in Cancer. Capricorns will get an opposition, which, you know, it's Jupiter, so it's not too bad, but it can be where you take on too much as a Capricorn, so watch out for that. You might decide, some Capricorns may decide to do something completely new, and it feels like, you know, you're kind of making a decision about something new that kind of pulls you in a new direction, but you may be struggling with some aspect of that. But I would say with the Capricorns, watch out for taking on too much. It could be more challenging for the Capricorns, the Aries and the Librans, okay? But when I say challenging, I use that word lightly because it is Jupiter. So, you know, challenging where, like I said before, you might be doing too much of a good thing and you might have to rein yourself back in and go, okay, I'm giving too much to people. I'm being too generous with my time. I'm saying yes to everything because I care about people. I'm trying to help these family members of this person, that person. And it's like, I need to pull back, you know, or you're doing too much for a certain cause or a certain passion. That's very much Jupiter in Cancer, where you can get too almost obsessed into a certain way of thinking or a certain passion or group or connection with people. So whatever it is, do watch out for any extremes like that. Jupiter in Cancer, again, if I'm going to look at the negative, it could be where people become obsessed in ideologies about certain beliefs, or yeah, like it can be a bit on the negative side, a bit, dare I say, cultish. But that's got to be if you have something really negative going on and, you know, you just, yeah, that's, again, if there's something really heavy going on in your chart, that's, yeah. But you can, like I said, you can definitely run into the risk of overgiving with this energy, and that could be in anything in your life. So say you love pets, you might start collecting too many pets and you'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm looking after all these pets. That's Jupiter in Cancer. That could just go to an extreme. and you don't have time for anything else and you've just like become obsessed with it. It could be that as an example. But again, that's going to be quite rare, but you never know. Something to watch out for. But like I said, I really like Jupiter in Cancer. It definitely helps with improving family relationships. There can be an increase for women infertility if there's been issues with that. There can be more positive energy with regards to your home life and how you feel with your home. There's definitely going to be people seeking more of a sense of belonging in terms of where they live. So if people are feeling where they're living is not resonating with a sense of feeling protected, safe, and content and secure, they might be looking for other places to live. That can definitely happen. So people can move to somewhere that is better suited to a sense of comfort, security, and safety. And people are going to be very passionate about, like, even more so in a collective way, they're like, you'll see more things like a lot more patriotism, wanting to protect their country's values in kind of a bit more of a traditional sense. That can show up as well. So yeah. And what was I going to say? If there's anything else that I wanted to add. That was pretty much really all I wanted to mention. But there is a focus on people's homes, how they feel in terms of their well-being in their home. With Jupiter in Cancer, if you don't feel good in your home, you're likely looking to, like I said, relocate. And if you have Jupiter in Cancer or water sign, this is the time in the next, in 2025 or 2026 when you can move to a better home situation for yourself. So Cancerian people have a lot of growth ahead in the next couple of years, and the water signs will find that this smooths the way for certain positive opportunities. And that's pretty much it. If you have questions or comments, post below. If you would like to see about each and every sign, how this is going to manifest for you, in what house, and, mostly by your rising sign. If you know your chart, you can look at where Jupiter in Cancer is transiting through. But you obviously need to understand astrology and how to read your chart for that. If you'd like to learn a bit of astrology, I also recommend joining me on Patreon, because I do, as I talk about the astrology, I also teach as I go a little bit as well. And I do have some videos on my Patreon about how to read your natal chart. And there's some tutorial stuff on there as well. But I'm going to leave it for now. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have comments or questions, please leave them below. But I'm really excited about Jupiter in Cancer. I feel like it is a positive. Like I said, it's exalted. It's in its best position. So I will leave this here and talk to you next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Comment or questions, please leave them below.